Hi students, in last lecture we understand the terms average velocity, acceleration. Today we will do some numericals based on these terms, that is average speed, average velocity and acceleration. First we are doing one numerical from NCERT book at page number 112. This question is Joseph jogs from point A to other point B. I am drawing a rough figure for this question so that we can easily understand the question. From one point A to other point B, a straight line on the road of 300 meter in 2 minutes. The time taken by Joseph to cover this distance is 2 minutes. So you can write the distance covered by Joseph. Distance covered by Joseph is 300 meter and the time taken to cover this distance is 2 minutes. You should know we can't write time in unit minutes, we have to convert it into seconds. Then you can convert it into seconds by multiplying it with 60, that is 120 seconds. It means Joseph jogs from point A to point B, which is 300 meter apart, in 120 seconds. And 50 seconds, okay. I did not read the complete question. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. It means 2 into 60 plus 50, that is total time is 170 seconds. And then return around the jogs and then return around and jogs 100 meter back. Now he turned around and come to the point C, which is 100 meter apart from point B in 1 minute. So you can write the information here. From point B to C, distance is 100 meter and the time taken by Joseph is 1 minute. Again converted into second, that is 60 seconds. Now the question is what Joseph average speed and velocity in jogging from A to B and A to C. First we will find the average speed from A to B. From A to B. Average speed. For average speed, we know the formula of average speed, that is total distance upon total time. So first of all, we have to find the total distance covered by Joseph from A to B and the total time taken by Joseph to cover A to B. So right here, distance covered by Joseph from A to B is equal to 300 meter is 300 meter and the time taken by Joseph to cover this distance is equal to, please write all the information I am telling you. मैंने dot किया है but you have to write all these points. Time taken by Joseph to cover this distance from A to B is equal to 170 seconds. Now we know that average speed is equal to total distance upon total time. So what is the total distance covered by Joseph is? It is 300 meter and total time taken by Joseph to cover this distance is 170 seconds. You can divide it. Approximately it will be 1.76. You should आपको 3 पॉइंट तक एटलीस्ट निकालना चाहिए, उसके बाद 2 पे राउंड ऑफ कर लेना चाहिए. Okay, by dividing it up to the 3 decimal places, it will be 1.765 meter per second. Round off means कि 2 पॉइंट तक, डेसिमल के 2 पॉइंट्स तक आपको यहाँ तक राउंड ऑफ करना है. तो इससे लास्ट नंबर आप चेक करोगे, इससे नेक्स्ट नंबर आप चेक करोगे. इफ़ इट इज़ 5 or more than 5, then you can add 1 in this number. That is, it will be 1.77 meter per second. It's called that round off. So the average speed of the Joseph from point A to B is 1.77 meter per second. And what is about the average velocity? Okay. For average velocity, we have to find the total displacement of Joseph. The displacement of Joseph, total displacement of Joseph. We know that displacement is the shortest distance covered by a body, a shortest distance between the initial and the final position of the body, the shortest distance between the A and a B. Since it is a straight line, it is a straight path, the shortest distance between the A and B is also 300 meter. So we can write the total displacement of Joseph is equal to 300 meter. And the total time taken by Joseph to cover this distance is equal to 170 seconds. Now, average velocity. Average velocity is equal to total displacement upon total time. You can write the formula here, total displacement upon total time. Now the displacement is 300 meter and total time is 170 second. So it will be 1.765 meter per second. This is the average velocity. Now in this question, average speed and average velocity from point A to B are same. But what is about from B A to C? In second part, we have to find the average speed and average velocity from point A to C. First, you have to find average speed. For average speed, we have to find total distance cover. Distance cover will be from A to C. He first moved from A to B, that is 300 meter, and come back again at the point C, which is 100 meter apart. The total distance covered by him will be 300 plus 100. कितना चला वो, पहले यहाँ चला 300, फिर 100 वापस गया. तो टोटल डिस्टेंस कवर बाय जोसेफ इज 300 plus 100, that is 400 meter. And the time taken by Joseph to cover this distance is, first he take 170 seconds in 300 meter, and next he takes 60 seconds in next 100 meter. Now the total time taken to cover 400 meter by Joseph is 170 plus 60, that is 130 seconds. This is the time taken by Joseph to cover the distance from A to C. Average speed. For average speed, we will count the total distance, that is 400 meter, and total time, that is 230 meter. Okay. And what is about the average velocity? Average velocity from point A to C, we have to find the total displacement. Now the distance, we know that displacement is a vector quantity. So the shortest distance between the point A and a C. What is the shortest distance between the A and a C? It is 300 minus 100. 300 minus 100. देखो ये आप पॉजिटिव में दिखा रहे हो ना, तो सिंस डिस्प्लेसमेंट एक वेक्टर क्वांटिटी है, सो हैव टू राइट 100 with a negative sign. And what is the total displacement? 300 plus minus 100, that is 200 meter. या आप ऐसे समझ सकते हैं कि the shortest distance between the A and a C, it is 200 meter. So displacement from A to C is 200 meter. Again the time taken to cover this displacement is 230. Time is same. So to find the average velocity, first we find average displacement, displacement, total displacement, which is 200 meter, and total time, that is 230 meter. Now we are doing this question on the next page. So from A to C, I should draw a figure again so that you would not confused. 300 meters distance from A to B, and 100 meter is the distance from B to C. Now from A to C, total distance covered by Joseph is equal to 300 plus 100, that is 400 meter. And the total time taken by Joseph to cover this distance is equal to 170 plus 60, that is 230 seconds. Now the average speed. Average speed is equal to total distance upon total time. First you should write the formula of average speed and then write the value, then put the value. Total distance is 400 and total time is 230. By dividing 400 by 230, we will find it will be approx 1.74 meter per second. Now For displacement, for average velocity, we will find the displacement. Now you will write here the total displacement of Joseph from A to C. Total displacement of Joseph from A to C is 300 minus 100, that is 200 meter. This is the displacement of Joseph, and the total time taken by Joseph to cover this displacement is again 230 seconds. What will be the average velocity? Average velocity is equal to total displacement 200 upon total time. By dividing it, we will find it 0.87 meter per second. This is the average velocity and average speed. This is the one question based on average speed and average velocity. Now, for doing some numericals based on acceleration, first some points you should note. First one, if we start from rest, if in a particular question there is writing, here is in this question, suppose in question, the question is body start from rest. If there is writing a body start from rest, a body starts from rest, it means that the initial velocity of a body is 0. In last video, I explained you that we represent initial velocity by small u. So, if in a question it is writing that a body start from rest, तो आप लिखते हो initial velocity u is equal to 0. U is initial velocity, or for any body if it start from rest, the initial velocity u will be 0. Second point, you should remember that if in a question it is writing that by applying the brakes, we stop the moving body. If a moving body stop after traveling a certain distance, it means its final velocity is 0. If in a question it is writing that a body stop, body can be a car, it can be a truck or a bicycle, it can be any moving body. Body stop after traveling some distance, it means its final velocity. I explained you that final velocity, we represent the final velocity with a small v is equal to 0. If a body stop, it means its final velocity is equal to 0. Next point, you should note that if we throw an object in vertically upward direction, suppose we throw a ball in upward direction, we know that if a ball moves in upward direction after attaining a maximum height, it will again come back to the ground. At this highest point, its velocity becomes 0. It means if we throw a ball in vertically upward direction, its final velocity at the highest point is 0. So, you can write it in a point that if we throw an object in vertically upward direction, then at highest point, only at the highest point, मतलब ये नहीं है कि यहाँ पे जहाँ मैक्सिमम हाइट अटेन कर लेगा वहाँ तक, at highest point its final velocity, we represent the final velocity by small v, its final velocity is equal to 0. And the next point, you should remember it, that if we drop a object from a certain height, suppose you are here at the height of h, and you drop something like a block, you drop the block from this height. When you drop this block, its initial velocity is 0. If we drop something, it means its initial velocity, which we represent by small u, is 0. You can write here, if we drop an object from a certain height, its initial velocity is equal to 0. These are the sum points. You should always remember it for doing the questions numerical based on acceleration. First question, this numerical, please write down this numerical. It is not from NCERT book. A question is, a car start from rest. A car start from rest. You should write the question. A car start from rest and pick up the velocity of 18 meter per second in 10 seconds. Again, a car start from rest. Okay, I think I can write this question. A car start from rest and pick up the velocity of 18 meter per second in 10 seconds. Find its acceleration. This is the question. First you should write the क्या क्या आपको मिला है क्वेश्चन में से. सबसे पहले आपको वो लिख देना चाहिए. जैसे फर्स्ट we find that a car start from rest. A car start from rest means its initial velocity. I already told you that a body start from rest means its initial velocity is 0. So here a car start from rest, it means you know that its initial velocity is equal to 0 and pick up the velocity of 18 meter per second. This car pick up the velocity of 18 meter per second. This is the final velocity of the car after 10 seconds. So we can write the final velocity by using the symbol small v. We know that final velocity is represented by the symbol small v. So its final velocity, the final velocity of the car is equal to 18 meter per second. If this unit is, suppose this unit is in kilometer per hour, so first of all we will convert it into meter per second. Then we will do the question. Okay, u is equal to 0 and the final velocity is equal to 18 meter per second. The time taken by the car is equal to 10 seconds. क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन क्वेश्चन से हमारे को मिल रही है वो सबसे पहले हमें नोट कर लेनी चाहिए. Now, by using the formula of acceleration, we know that acceleration is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. We can find the acceleration of the car. You can put the value of v and u. V is 18 and u is 0 divided by the time is 10. So it will be 1.8 meter per second square. Meter per second square is the unit of SI unit of acceleration. Okay. Now the next question. Again you can write the question. Question second. A train start from रेस्ट. जैसे ही मैं बोलूँ स्टार्ट फ्रॉम रेस्ट तो आपके दिमाग में एकदम से क्लिक होना चाहिए. इट मीन्स इनिशियल वेलोसिटी u इज इक्वल टू 0. स्टार्ट फ्रॉम रेस्ट एंड मूविंग with a uniform acceleration and here is the acceleration and attains the speed of speed means velocity. So simply we represent sometimes we write the velocity or the speed. So both are the same terms. Attains the speed of means this is the final velocity of the body. Attains the speed of 90 km per hour. Now we know that this is the final velocity of the train, but here the unit of final velocity is in kilometer per hour. So you should always remember it that first of all we will convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. Now in 5 minutes calculate the acceleration. Now we know that a train start from rest. It means the initial velocity of the train is equal to 0. This is the initial velocity of the train. And it attains the speed of 90 km per hour. It is the final velocity of the train represented by v small v, which is equal to 90 km per hour. 90 km per hour. We will convert it into meter per second by multiplying it with the 15 upon 8. It will be 25 meter per second. And the time taken by the train is equal to 5 minutes. Again, this is not the SI unit of the time. So we will convert the minute into seconds. It will be 6 5 30, 300 seconds. Okay. Now we know initial velocity, final velocity, and the time taken by train. So you can find the acceleration by using this formula v minus u upon t. Here v is 25, u is 0, and the time taken is 300. So it will be 1 upon 12 meter per second square. Some more questions based on acceleration. Question third. First write the question. The question is a car starting from rest. Car starting from rest. It means u is equal to 0. Moves with a uniform acceleration. Moves with uniform acceleration of 0.1 meter per second square for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes. Find its final velocity and the speed. Now in this question, car start from rest, it means u is equal to 0. With a uniform acceleration is 0.1 meter per second square, and the time taken by car is equal to 2 minutes. Converted into seconds, it will be 120 seconds. Now you have to find the final velocity of the car. We know that acceleration is equal to v minus u upon t. You can put the value of some values which we know by this question, which we find in this question is acceleration is 0.1 is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity, which is equal to 0, divided by the time is equal to 120 seconds. You know the cross multiplication method. First of all, 120 will multiply with 0.1. It will be 0.1 multiply with the 120, v minus 0. Multiply हो गया जाएगा 12. Then v will be 12 meter per second. So we can find any of the value, even u or v or time or acceleration, by using this formula. Okay. Now next question number 4. A bus traveling at 50 km per hour. Bus traveling at 50 km per hour. 50 km per hour. You know, we should convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. So bus is traveling at this speed. It means is the initial velocity of the bus. Now it brought to rest. It brought to rest. I told you that if a body is brought to rest, it means its final velocity becomes 0. V will be 0. With a uniform retardation. In last video, I explained you if the velocity of the body decreases, it means its acceleration will be negative, and negative acceleration is called retardation. So here in this question, it is writing that brought to the rest with uniform retardation in 30 seconds. This is the time. Calculate the retardation of the bus. Okay. Now we know that this is the u, initial velocity of the bus. 50 km per hour, we will convert it into meter per second. Oh, it will be 250 upon 18. Or it should not convert it into, we should not be completely divide to make it in decimal. पूरा डिवाइड नहीं होता ना, पूरा डिवाइड होता तो आप डिवाइड कर सकते, पर अगर पूरा नहीं होता है तो we can leave it as in fraction. Okay, this is the initial velocity of the car. And what is the final velocity? It brought to the rest. It means its final velocity is equal to 0. With a uniform retardation in 30 seconds, the time is equal to 30 seconds. So what will be the acceleration? Acceleration is equal to v minus u upon t. Minus 250 upon 18 is divided by 30. अगर आप डिवाइड को मल्टीप्लाई करते हो तो रेसिप्रोकल होता है, इट विल बी 1 upon 30. is equal to, by calculating it we will find it approx 0 minus 0.462 something meter per second square. It will be the acceleration in negative form. So we will write it, retardation of buses is equal to 0.462 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. अगर आप रिटार्डेशन लिख रहे हो तो आप माइनस का साइन नहीं लगाओगे. अगर आप एक्सेलरेशन लिख रहे हो तो यू शुड पुट दिस साइन बिफोर दिस वैल्यू. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, नेक्स्ट न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. Calculate the initial velocity of a train. Calculate initial velocity of a train. Initial velocity means a small u. You have to find a small u here in this question. Initial velocity of a train which is stopped in 50 seconds. Stopped means final velocity is equal to 0. Okay, which is stopped in 50 seconds. And what is the 50 seconds? This is the time taken by this train to stop. By applying brakes. Okay, now find the retardation of the brake is 0.5 meter per second square. This is the retardation. Retardation means negative acceleration. So in this question we have to find initial velocity u. We don't know about the u. Which is stopped means final velocity is equal to 0. In 50 seconds means time taken by it is 50 seconds. And applying the brakes, the retardation means acceleration with the negative sign, minus 0.5 meter per second square. So by using this formula, a is equal to v minus c upon t, we can find any of the value a or u or v or t. So first you put the value. Acceleration is minus 0.5 meter per second is equal to v is 0, u we don't know, divided by the time is 50. Now cross multiply, 50 को उधर ले जाएंगे आप, तो it will be minus u is equal to, multiply होके कितना आता है 25 minus 25, minus cancel, तो u will be 25 meter per second. This is the initial velocity of the train. Now one more question. You should understand all the numericals in this chapter because the other 4 chapters are based on the numericals. मतलब जो अगले चैप्टर्स आने वाले हैं, लाइक इससे अगला फोर्स आएगा, देन ग्रेविटेशन आएगा, देन वर्क एनर्जी आएगा. फॉर डूइंग दोज न्यूमेरिकल्स यू शुड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड द न्यूमेरिकल्स ऑफ द फर्स्ट चैप्टर. तो फर्स्ट चैप्टर के न्यूमेरिकल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इनको आपको बहुत अच्छे से समझना चाहिए क्योंकि आगे के न्यूमेरिकल्स इसके ऊपर बेस्ड है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज अ ट्रेन इज मूविंग विद एन इनिशियल वेलोसिटी ऑफ I'm writing only the values which is given in this question. Please you write the question. A train is moving with the initial velocity of 30 meter per second. This is the initial velocity of the train, which is 30 meter per second. The brakes are applied so as to produce a uniform acceleration of minus 1.5 meter per second square. Here it is a acceleration. Calculate the time. We don't know the time in this question. It will come to rest. Means v final velocity is equal to 0. Again, only one formula is here for these questions. 1.5 acceleration is equal to v minus u upon t. Here we know all the values a, u, v. We don't know only the t. So we can find the value of t by calculating it. क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई में लेके जाते हैं इसको. माइनस 1.5 इंटू टी इज इक्वल टू माइनस 30. माइनस कैंसिल. टी इज इक्वल टू 30 अपॉन 1.5. it will be 20 seconds. So the time taken by train to stop is 20 seconds. These are the numericals based on acceleration. Very important numericals. इसको अच्छे से आप समझेंगे. फिर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में हम लोग समझेंगे द ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ मोशन. ओके, बाय.